how much damage does Furina really do? It's something I don't pay attention to often, but I think it is something worth paying attention to since it's the thing that separates her from a lot of other supports, right? So she's over here, she's gonna give damage bonus, right? But she's also doing off-field damage, which is the reason why she was like the best support in the game for a while. I'm gonna go on maybe 2-3 teams and we'll see how much damage she does on each of them. And I will be changing up my build slightly for this team just so we can truly see how much damage this character is doing. And yeah, that should help us out. 48,000 HP already? Okay, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna question it. But man, that does actually genuinely seem very high. But yeah, Furina should be able to sustain herself on this team. We'll see. I'm not doing like the perfect rotation, but this is just the rotation that I'm going to be doing because, yeah, I'm just, you know, it's what I'm doing. All right, so it's going to be tough to figure out what is Furina's damage numbers here and what is, you know, Nevi's, right? So it's a little tough. I could just like sort of do this, right? I could, and that is a genuine thing I could do. We did, you know, lose a little damage because of what we just saw there. Let me just retry this because I want to see exactly how does this work, because we've already seen Nevi. He's almost there with his energy, so we do that. That's how you're supposed to start it. Yeah, it is a self-sustaining thing, so I just wanted to make sure, because I do believe that is how it should work, but you know, whether it actually works like that, who knows. So yeah, this was my build. Honestly, very, very weird build. Probably because I have an HP goblet, but even still, 48,000 HP is incredibly high. However, for the rest of the teams in this video, I will be using the Favonius Sword because I do believe that it is the best. So yeah, it is also important to note that my build has damage as my secondary, you know, idea. Basically, I would say I don't really want to go for damage immediately. It's just not what I want to do because I don't think focusing on Furina's damage is something that should be really done. I can get, you know, people who don't like my crit rate, maybe they like, you know, 70%, you know, but honestly, my build works fantastic for, you know, actually buffing my main DPS characters. And as we're getting stronger main DPS characters, honestly, Furina's off-field damage is becoming less and less relevant. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do this. Yes, Furina is being used after Bennett, so we can make sure to have the reaction for this, but it shouldn't really affect us too much. You know, maybe a little bit, a couple hits off of the team, but yeah, other than that, we're just gonna do this damage, and there you go. Yeah, we're just done. We're done with our damage. Whatever. I'll stop once I do the, you know, Mavuika thing. Now, as for other characters that I could do teams with, honestly, there's not much. There really isn't. I'm starting to, you know, like, because like, yeah, sure, I could do a Risley team where I use Furina there. We'll do this team because this should give Furina decent damage because we're doing the burning reaction. She should be able to vape on a couple of her hits, so it should be, we should be covering the area of like, oh, well, if you have a Hydra character, you can upgrade her weapon. Oh, well, if you're, you know, on a team that's applying a lot of pyro, you can upgrade, you know, or you can do reactions and get extra damage off of that. And for, you know, the Mavuika team that we just did, we weren't really, you know, at all really looking at Furina's damage. We were more looking at, you know, she's doing damage. Nothing really is done to sort of buff it, really. Other than C2 Shieldon, which was on a lot of the teams here. So, yeah, we may actually see her damage go down, even though we're technically running a burn team here. But, hey, who cares? We'll be fine, chat. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine. Yeah, so we're going to have this and this. Yeah, and we'll go ahead. Just a little bit more. Okay, well, all right, I missed the last one. I don't think it matters that much, though. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at the damage numbers and look at what we might have done. Hopefully that Nevi team doesn't take me 5 years to figure out. I'll be right back. Okay, actually pretty surprising results. We saw less than 200,000 damage off of using Kinich here. And yeah, I mean, so 400,000 damage on the Nevi team. Now, I don't necessarily know whether I might have, you know, hurt Furina in some ways, but the Nevi team very clearly was her best team. The reason for that being is because, one, we had C2 Shieldon, and two, because the team took that long, right? So Furina with Kinich did take that long, but I'll get into, you know, Kinich's, you know, scenario. when we get to it. So something to note is that because Furina is a character who has her long duration, the sooner you use her in a rotation, the better. However, that is something that actually hurt us in this, because damage reduction hits that I don't count whenever the capybara is, you know, oh, we're taking such little damage at the start here. I can actually go and show you, not what I wanted to do. I can actually come here and show you guys 66, 69, and then 700, 200, 800. When you get that much of a damage reduction, it hurts you tremendously, and I just don't even count the damage numbers because they're so insignificant. We maybe would have gone up 2,000 damage or maybe 3,000 damage the entire time I counted damage reduction hits, which is also something that happened at the end of the rotation where the capybara started shaking his booty. So the Nevi team, it has good damage. It's very good. We had the extra weapon. We had C2 shielding. It showed off really well that Furina can do a lot of damage, because that is all the damage that Furina did, 400,000 plus. You know, might have given maybe one of Nevi's hits. It was very hard to tell. There was specifically one instance where I believe it was when I was using Nevi's E skill that Furina hit at the same time. So the E skill had its damage, then Furina's damage was there, but then also Nevi's damage was there again, because we can go ahead and we can see, because if you have used Nevi's, you know, skill before, you know that, you know, we have this, you do your first initial thing, and then you do a second hit that does another amount of hydro damage. In between that, I'm pretty sure Furina snuck in a hit, so it all happened so fast that I was like, I was going frame by frame, and I still couldn't tell what was Furina's hit. I ended up settling on in the middle of the hits. You know, that is where Furina hit, and that is the damage that I gave her. But yeah, overall, Nevi, 400,000 damage, not bad on this team, very, very well. She's applying Hydra from Mavuika too. You could even consider that a little bit of her damage. So it's up to you whether you want to do that. But yeah, let's get into the second team, where it was a Mavuika team. She didn't have a lot of time, right? She didn't have a lot of time. Mavuika only takes 7 seconds, and because of the way that I play the game, wanting to have as much consistency as possible, I put Furina in the second slot here, where I normally also put Silali. The reason I do this is because sometimes Bennett can steal the vape from Mavuika, or not steal it, but he can sort of, you know, take away the Hydro aura too much, and then it takes a bit for it to actually get back, and if you're not ready for that, you accidentally press the Q too fast, immediately you've lost so much damage. So I use Furina as a character. Why are these guys so dark here? Why? It's so dark and grim. There we go. Why was it like that? I was just looking at that the entire time, like, why? So Furina in this, you know, slot, I prefer to have her there just because it is consistent, it works, and it always does what it needs to do. And you know, her sub DPS is not at all something that I am, like, you know, willing to sacrifice a little bit of her extra damage for Mavuika to maybe have the chance of losing like 500,000 damage, right? So it just is not worth it overall. I'm gonna be honest. And you know, so 246,000, that's the damage that she did. There wasn't really any damage reduction. I was a little lenient. I let every single hit that was in the air as Mavuika was doing her final charge attack. It ended at like 10,900 something if you want to go back and look at the footage. That is where I stopped looking at the numbers, because she does obviously like keep attacking afterwards, right? Which you could consider a part of her rotation, but once Mavuika had done her full rotation, I was just like, all right, end it there. That's where we're stopping. So yeah, she did 246,000. I was a little lenient in terms of my own, because originally she would have lost 40,000 damage just from me not being lenient, but I was like, the 30,000 damage was a little too much to look past, considering the 30,000 damage was directly after Mavuika had done her final charge. It's just like, it's already there. If you're playing the game, it's gonna hit, and that's exactly what I did with the 10,000 damage also. So that is how, you know, you could possibly, if I was really wanted to be strict with, you know, Furina here, she would have done like 210,000. Still not awful, but, you know, certainly, you know, not as impressive as her almost, you know, 250,000, right? One I gotta talk about, the crits on the Kinich team did not go well, and she didn't vape that many times. Well, she vaped, but she didn't crit on her vapes. Yeah, looking at it, I think I have like a 30%. I crit twice right there, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in total. I think I crit 5 times in total. And here, I'll quickly take a second and I'll look at how many times I actually hit. So it is a 5 out of 13 ratio. So I had a 39% crit rate there. Yeah, it was pretty bad. The crit rate ended up being pretty bad. I mean, my Furina's crit rate, I'm not gonna lie, it is not, you know, the best at all, but it's not 39%. Realistically, if I could get 70% crit rate, leave the crit damage, or leave the energy recharge exactly the same, I would. But I don't have that, right? Because the energy recharge also has Favonius on top of that. So yeah, the Kinich team, she kind of fumbled her own, but I mean, that's just something that can happen to my Furina. You know, like I said, she's built, you know, support first, damage second, right? I'm not here to see Furina do a load of damage, although she did do 63,000 on the Nevi team, right? She did 63,000 on her Crabletta, whatever. You know, that's C2 Shieldon, that's Hydra Resonance and stuff, that's C2 Mavuika also giving her 10% extra damage, right? So overall, yeah. Furina, definitely a really, really strong character. I do, also, yeah, my Furina is C1. I guess that does kind of matter. But, you know, overall, I like comparing characters at their C1 or R1, so I don't really think there's not really much of an issue with that, at least in my terms. I'm not necessarily claiming to be the most free-to-play friendly player, I would say. That's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you did enjoy, and if you really enjoyed, feel free to become a member. $5 a month, and you can get access to videos 8 hours early. Plus, we should be getting some new sticker emojis soon, so that should be pretty good. And also, there are exclusive member-only videos like this event that I'm about to do, maybe eventually. Real Adventure. That is the event. We'll see if it, you know, how it goes. I have not done a single bit of it yet. I am saving it for the members-only video. The entire reaction to this event is my members-only, right? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.